At the preamble, we're going to touch base on the ruling from the Supreme Court in reference to the violations of NEC during the previous elections. We're also going to touch base on Nwabudike, and I'm going to give my perspective on how we can come about with a United States of Africa for all of us and all of our people. I'm going to throw some light on the right to vote, even though I spoke about it during my first presentation. We're going to touch base on dual citizenship, and of course, I'm never going to forget about rape. We are going to start sharing the video so that more people can come on. We ask you to share the video. And again, welcome to LIB Constitution Review and Action Committee. This is your host, J. Christian Watt Sr. And we have a beautiful show for you today. Okay, so stay tuned. Don't you go nowhere and share this video. In studio, look. I'm getting ready to go live. What? Alright, go watch the program. Go watch the program on Lrtn Live. Okay, welcome to LIB Constitution Review and Action Committee. Today we are coming to you live from Lrtn Studio. This is your host, J. Christian Watt Sr. And we would like to share this video a little bit more so that more people come on and we can have a productive discussion here. So again, this is your host. Just stay tuned and bear with me as we continue to share this video. Okay, so listen to the music as we share this video so we can have a good discussion today. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching and welcome again to LIB Constitution Review and Action Committee. This is your host, J. Christian Waugh Sr. Today we are going to be looking at the preamble, that is the introduction of the Liberian Constitution. Okay, what is this Constitution thing all about? We're going to be looking at the introduction, what Liberia have to present to the world as their introduction of their Constitution, okay? It's called the preamble. So we're going to be taking a look at that, and we're just going to throw a little bone to the ruling of the Supreme Court concerning the last elections and what have been done about all of the irregularities that occurred during that time. Nwabudike is a whole nother thing. And of course, I'm going to give my perspective on how we can unite Africa as one country and call it the United States of Africa. So we have a loaded show here for you today. Now, the first thing that I want to do right now, at this moment, is to wish my dear mom, Reverend Mother Victoria T. Waugh, the matriarch of my family, a happy, happy, happy birthday to you. Thank you for everything you have done for all of us and continue to do for all of us. You are a blessing to us. We love you because you gave us unconditional love. Thank you so much for everything. Words are not enough to express my gratitude on behalf of the family. We appreciate you. You are surely the greatest matriarch of all time. Happy birthday to you. I wish you long life, prosperity, blessing, and everything else that is going to brighten your day and give you the longest time on this earth. God bless you. Reverend Mother Victoria T. Waugh, happy birthday to you. We love you. Now, the Liberian Constitution is the law that governs Liberia. Everyone is obliged to obey the laws of the land. Okay? So today we are going to look at the preamble or the introduction of the Liberian Constitution. I do not know whether or not my producer is ready to put that on the screen. So if he is, then we will proceed to read the preamble and just discuss it briefly, okay? So I am waiting for the producer to see whether he can put that on, and then we can move forward with reading that. Again, this is Lrtn Live. I think the preamble was just on the screen briefly, and the producer is going to bring that back on the screen for us. We encourage you to advertise with Lrtn. You'll be surprised how much good this could do for your business. Our people are just being introduced to television media for commercial purposes. Now the preamble is on the screen. I'm going to read that to you. Okay? It reads, "We, the people of the Republic of Liberia, acknowledging our devout gratitude to God for our existence as a free, sovereign, and independent state, and relying on His divine guidance for our survival as a nation. Realizing from many experiences during the course of our national existence, which culminated in the revolution of April 12, 1980, when our Constitution of July 26, 1847 was suspended, that all of our people, irrespective of history, tradition, creed, or ethnic background, are of one common body politic, exercising our natural, inherent, and inalienable rights to establish a framework of government for the purpose of promoting unity, liberty, peace, stability, equality, justice, and human rights under the rule of law, with opportunities for political, social, moral, spiritual, and cultural advancement of our society, for ourselves and for our prosperity. And having resolved to live in harmony, to practice fraternal love, tolerance, and understanding as a people, and being fully mindful of our obligation to promote African unity and international peace and cooperation. Do hereby solemnly make, establish, proclaim, and publish this Constitution for the governance of the Republic of Liberia. So this is an introduction of our Constitution, the preamble of our Constitution as a nation. And in this preamble, we are acknowledging our devout gratitude to God. So our country do believe in God. It's a good thing. Our devout gratitude to God for our existence, just to be here as a free, completely free, sovereign, and independent state. Okay? And relying on His divine guidance. So the people of Liberia rely on the divine guidance of God for our survival as a nation. So clearly this introduction is saying to us that the trust of our nation is in God. We look up to Him. We gave our gratitude to Him for our existence, for freedom, sovereignty, and everything as an independent state. And we thank Him for our survival as a nation. Now, realizing that our Constitution of July 26, 1847 was suspended on April 12, 1990, that irrespective of that, okay, the preamble goes to say that all of our people, all Liberians, irrespective of history, that means regardless of history, regardless of tradition, irrespective of creed, ethnic background, we are of one common body politic. So it doesn't matter whether you're from any tribe, you do not own Liberia over anybody else. We are all Liberians. So the attempts to divide our nation through tribalism will not work. Okay? I want Liberia to understand that. And of course, the introduction of our Constitution clearly says that the government will work for the purpose of promoting unity. So I want Liberians to understand that because we have different political parties, do not mean that we are enemies. Okay? I stated in my last presentation that we should come together as a people and hold those that are in leadership accountable, irrespective of your political party affiliations. It doesn't mean that we are at war. We just have different ideas of how to move our country forward. And even if you are part of a different political party, we still come together and we hold whoever is the leader at that time, regardless of whichever political party this leader is from, we hold them accountable to do the right thing for all Liberians so that all Liberians benefit from the leadership of the resources of our country. So I want to encourage Liberians that you heard the preamble of our Constitution. Encourage us to be unified, to have peace, to have freedom without hindrance. All of these political parties or political institutions that we have now are going to, in one way or the other, be around, or they're going to be gone, or they're going to go down, or they're going to go up, whichever way. We should not forget that the introduction or preamble of our Constitution provides us with the right to work together as one body politic, irrespective of creed, irrespective of tribe, or anything that you feel that you're part of in terms of ethnicity. Okay? So, our Constitution preamble makes it very clear that we are one people and we are not going to be divided as one people. And we have the power. After the introduction of our Constitution, I think it's Article 1, gives us the ultimate power. All power is inherent in the people. So we're going to take a short break at this time, and when we return, we are going to look at the ruling from the Supreme Court of Liberia for the irregularities and violations of the 2016 or 2017 elections, and what has been done since the ruling, and is there anything that the court can do to ensure that all of the recommendations provided by the court were implemented. Okay, so stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. This is LRB Constitution Review and Action Committee with your host, J. Christian Wash Sr., and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to LIB Constitution Review and Action Committee. This is your host, J. Christian Wise Sr. Before the break, we had an opportunity to review the preamble of the Liberian Constitution, and we just went into a little bit about the Constitution preamble. Now I want to take a look at the ruling of the Supreme Court in reference to violations of our Constitution by NEC and other parties for the senatorial and presidential elections. During the last elections, there were many violations of our Constitution, and the Supreme Court of Liberia ruled that certain conditions be met. I think the voter registration registrar had multiple entries. People were voting more than one time, multiple names. There were frauds committed, and even on video, the wife of the current president, George Weah, voted in the Liberian election. That alone is ground for the Supreme Court to issue ruling or opinion in favor of a complete new election. There were so many violations. There were no lights at the polling stations. There were no means of transportation for the ballot boxes. There were harassment by political parties that felt they were the ones that deserve more than others. And the Supreme Court, in a ruling which I disagreed with, the Supreme Court should have ruled for a complete new election. But they did not, and because of that, because the Supreme Court of Liberia ignored all of the violations of our Constitution, and it did not rule appropriately in favor of the people, we are in the situation that we're in today. When you assume that your action is to protect certain individuals that are in power at the time, you should realize that you have failed the Liberian people in upholding your responsibilities as a separate and equal branch of government. The action of the Supreme Court of Liberia have cost our country dearly. And even as such, the ruling after the lawsuit by Honorable Charles Bronskin, the ruling of the Supreme Court at that time was handed down to the Election Commission. As of yet, we have not heard from anyone, including the Election Commission or the Supreme Court, in reference to the time frame of how these implementation should have been done or are progressing. Nothing. We've heard absolutely nothing from the Supreme Court in reference to that. nor have we heard anything from the Liberian Election Commission in reference to the progress about the opinion of the High Court of the Republic of Liberia. This is a issue that should be on the lips of the oppositions, but I do not hear anything about voter registration cleaning or cleansing or conducive environments for Liberians to vote. That is, the polling stations should have lights, adequate lights. The commission should have independent observers. And, you know, the opportunity for Liberians to vote without hindrance should be upheld as well. And the opposition is not saying anything in reference to that. So the people of Liberia must stand up and ensure that the government implement the recommendations or the ruling from the Supreme Court of Liberia. We want to see progress. What has been done? It has been many years since this ruling was handed down by the Supreme Court of Liberia, but as to what has been done, nothing at all. The Election Commission is silent about that. The executive branch is silent about that. And of course, the judiciary is also silent. This is unacceptable. The three branches of government have to function independently so that we have a comprehensive government and country functioning as one oiled machine. Okay? So we want to hear something from the oppositions in reference to the implementations of the ruling from the Supreme Court concerning the last presidential elections and election, I think, for the upper and lower houses of government. We are longing to hear from the opposition to speak truth to power and have this administration implement those recommendations and decisions from the Supreme Court of Liberia. We're looking forward to that. And also I wanted to bring to your attention that we are in the process of working with a law firm from Liberia to look at the right to vote by absentee ballots, the rights of Liberians to vote by absentee ballots. That right has been violated by many administrations, and we feel that this is the time, or the time is right for us to encourage our government to have a new perspective in terms of allowing Liberians to exercise their constitutional rights to vote by absentee ballots. Okay, so if you are a law firm in Liberia and you are interested in looking at how we can move this forward, please contact Lrtn and we will be willing to discuss with you the intricacies of how we can petition our government to allow Liberians to vote by absentee ballot, because it is in our constitution. This is our right. Okay? This is our right as Liberians to vote by absentee ballots. So any law firms in Liberia, please contact Lrtn. The telephone number is on the screen so that we can take a look and give Liberians the opportunity to exercise their constitutional rights. Okay? So with that said, we will take another break, and then when we return, again, we will touch base on Nwabudike, okay? The candidate that the executive branch of government put forward to be chairman of the Election Commission of the Republic of Liberia. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're on LRTN Live. Peace. Good afternoon and welcome back to LIB Constitution Review and Action Committee. This is your host, J. Christian Wass Sr. And we already touched on the ruling from the Supreme Court of Liberia concerning the last elections. And we are looking to hear the voices of the opposition to make sure that the ruling of the Supreme Court of Liberia is implemented by the executive branch of the Liberian government and trickle down to the Election Commission of the Republic of Liberia. You know, as Liberians, if we do not take the initiatives to make sure that things are done correctly, we are never going to move forward as a people. You cannot sit home and not be involved in the process and expect others to go and demonstrate for you, or go and speak truth to power, or go and implement the kind of work that needs to be done for all Liberians, because you feel that you are afraid, or you just don't have the courage to stand up for yourself. So you stay home and you stay in the corner like cowards, and you are afraid, but you want to blame other people, you want to criticize other people that are standing up and putting their lives on the line and speaking truth to power. Our country is not for any one individual over another. Okay? We must hold everyone accountable for any violations of our Constitution. Okay? And this includes senior officials of any government in Liberia. Okay? Now, we have a situation here where we had a foreigner, a gentleman by the name of Nwabudike, a Nigerian national, a Nigerian citizen, that infiltrated our system all the way to the ability and the opportunity and the accordance to practice law in front of the Supreme Court of Liberia. How can Liberians be so relaxed, so lazy, and do not want to put attention to detail, do not want to check the intricacies? Liberians want to just go to work. Instead of being there at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you get to work 10, 11, 12, and then you're out by 1 o'clock or even 12 o'clock. You are out of your office. You are all in the streets drinking. How do you expect things to improve? How do you expect the standard of living to improve? Instead of collecting certain amount of money for everyone in Liberia, you accept bribes. You just violate the laws with impunity. How can Liberians elect or even select a Nigerian to practice before the Supreme Court of Liberia without due diligence for so long? Do you think a Liberian could go to Nigeria and attempt to practice law in front of the Supreme Court of Nigeria as a citizen without the government of the Republic of Nigeria doing their due diligence? I do not think so. But it's a disgrace to Liberia to just sit there and allow a foreigner to infiltrate our system and practice law in front of our Supreme Court like we do not know what we're doing. Okay? The executive branch of government should have done their due diligence. But instead, even before recommending Nwabudike to serve as the chairman of the Election Commission of the Republic of Liberia, the executive branch should have done a complete due diligence on this individual, even if he was practicing before the Supreme Court. It is your responsibility to check all the records again and request all of the records. It is a disgrace to Liberians. It shows that we do not pay attention to detail. To have a Nigerian infiltrate the legal system of Liberia to practice law in Liberia. And this individual was very persistent that he was a Liberian and that everybody else was wrong besides he and the executive branch of government that recommended him as chairman of the election commission. Look, when we as Liberians sit there like cowards and expect few Liberians to get in the street while you sit at home, or few Liberians to talk on your behalf while you sit at home, curled in your little corner, and you expect the voices of Liberians all over to be heard. Look, this administration refused to declare the assets right in front of you Liberians. After stating clearly that they were going to declare the assets for 12 years as the main opposition. When they came to power, you can clearly see that those that were hired, most of those that were hired, have not earned the financial ability to own the kinds of properties within such a short time. But even though you Liberians see that, you sit in the corner and you expect others to go and do the work for you, and then you wonder why Liberia is the way it is. Look, we had a loan, Lrtn loan, that was forwarded by the executive branch to the legislative branch of government, specifically the upper house, which is the Senate of the Liberian government. This branch of government is responsible to make the laws of Liberia to benefit all Liberians. You cannot make the law to favor just the executive branch, or just the president, or just the pro temp, or the speaker, or higher members of government. No, do not ever do that. Because this is what you did. You approved of Lrtn loan without even any ratification, without any due diligence. And it turned out that that was a fake loan, a false loan. You turn around, you did the same thing with Iboma loan without any due diligence. That means you do not care for the Liberian people. That means you are only in it for your own selfish gain and to satisfy the executive branch of government, specifically the president of Liberia, that recommended or that put this loan forward to you. You approved the loan without even knowing the terms that Liberia will be responsible to pay. Nothing whatsoever. You are members of the legislative branch of government. You are doing a disservice to Liberia. You approved anything without credence. You approve anything and everything for the executive branch of government because you are in bed with the executive branch of government and you're doing our country no service at all. Okay? You sat there as the executive of the people. You serve as executive to represent the people. Okay? You sat there and you allow the president to appoint an ambassador. and you look so much like a rubber stamp. The president now felt that he didn't even have to consult you for confirmation before giving this ambassador his assignment and sending him overseas to represent our country. That means there was no respect for you. And the reason there's no respect for you, members of the legislative branch of this government, is because you do not exercise your power as an independent branch of the government that is responsible to make all of our laws for all Liberians. If you do not respect yourself, then the executive branch of government is not going to respect you. And this is why the president sent someone that should have been confirmed by the Senate out of the country without any credence or any respect for the senators in Liberia. You must stand up as senators, even if you're from that party. Do the right thing, because history is going to hold you accountable for that. And you, the Liberian people, you cannot keep electing a person as senator because they are your friend or they are your family. Let me tell you something. When you elect the right people, they do not have to be your friends. You will still benefit bigly from the work of anyone that you elect that is qualified and honest with integrity to do the work of our people. You and your friends and your family, your children, your loved ones will benefit if you elected the correct person with the right qualification to make the laws and to look at everything that the executive branch of government is presenting to them, so that they understand what they're doing and make the best decisions for Liberia. Now, I'm saying all of this because recently with the nomination of Nwabudike to head the Election Commission of Liberia, it was very disturbing to me. And as such, I think the Liberian Bar Association have completed their work, and they found nothing to indicate whatsoever that Nwabudike is a Liberian citizen. Everything that Nwabudike was engaged in was fraudulent. He accumulated so much from Liberia, and something should be done. The citizens of Liberia should make sure that they hold this administration's feet to the fire, so that they will hold Nwabudike accountable. If the administration do not want to move forward, I think it is incumbent upon the lawmakers to make sure that we don't look like just rubber stamp and just look so light to this executive branch of government. You must stand up. You make the law. And if anyone violated the law, then that person should be held accountable for their actions. And you should make sure that something is done to hold Nwabudike accountable. This man cannot just violate our law in Liberia, take us to be nobody, and just walk away free. You know, this man served in various capacities that were reserved for Liberian citizens only, and gained material wealth, academic permanence, all because of the fact that he lied as being a Liberian citizen, and there was no due diligence. So again, I want to see the voices of the opposition on this issue, and I want to see action from the government about this issue. So again, we are going to take a short break, and then when we get back, I am going to give you my perspective on how we can come together as the United States of Africa, what is necessary, and how we can gain the respect of the international community. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Lrtn Live. LRTN Live. This is the LIB Constitution and Action Committee, Constitution Review and Action Committee. This is your host, J. Christian Watts Sr. I want to inform all of you that LRTN is going to commence a local news program. So for you Liberians that will be having events in your community, send us information so that we can come and cover your program, and we are going to bring it on the local news for you. Even the local news might involve things from internationally, like in Liberia. If you're doing an event, contact LRTN Live. We will bring that to you. This station has elevated to the level of a premium Liberian television and radio network entity. Okay, so I encourage you to, I'm going to ask my producer to put the telephone number on the screen for you so that you can write the number down and you may be able to call in with your comments and suggestions for this program, but also to inform the station about any events that you may be having. We are going to start a new local news program on LRTN. So we invite you to contact us and we will endeavor to carry your event live. Okay, so now the telephone number is on the screen. You may call in with your questions or comments or suggestions while I am speaking about the issue of the day. So I want to just briefly give a little commentary on the issue of Africa becoming one nation. We keep trying to run away from this. It's inevitable that we have to come together as Africans and consolidate our resources. We have abundance of resources. We have shortage of nothing. So we should coordinate and standardize our resources so that we get the kind of respect from the international community. We have all of the natural resources. We have the human resources. Why are we looked upon as the least when we know very well that we're the best? Why are we so reluctant to step up our game as Africans? So I'm going to be speaking briefly on how we can come together as one nation, the United States of Africa. Okay, and while I'm speaking, the telephone number is on the screen. You can call in with your questions, suggestions, and I will stop and answer those questions. Before I proceed, let me just respond to a few text messages that came on my screen. Demas Pay, he writes, if Liberia is a democratic nation, why do we not allow the rural community to elect their local government officials? The rural community has always been given an appointed official, or been given appointed officials, many of which are interested in the development of that. Many of which are interested in the development of that community. So Demas Pay is concerned that if Liberia is a democratic nation, why do we have local rural communities? Why are the leaders of the rural communities appointed and given to them and not elected? Okay, so let me just, of my own understanding, provide synopsis of what I think. So the reason that most rural communities do not have elected officials is that these officials that are appointed and given to the rural communities are part of the executive branch of government. Okay? They serve at the will and pleasure of the president, and I think they fall under the internal affairs of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Okay? So all of those local leaders in rural areas falls under the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and the Ministry of Internal Affairs falls under the executive branch of government, and the executive branch of government mostly serve at the will and pleasure of the president. Okay? So the president, Mr. Dimas Pay, the president appoints all of these leaders in the rural areas, either directly or indirectly through the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Okay, and I stand to be corrected, but I think this is the reason why. So if we want the rural communities leaders elected, then we have to either amend the Constitution or, do something by the legislative branch of government to make sure that is part of our law, and then we'll proceed to implement that. Okay? And Dimas, I know you have lots of questions here. We have one more comment from, the line is open, by the way, so you can call in or you can send your comment. We have another comment from Florence Kinsley, and she writes, Liberians should know that this administration came to leadership without any plan to lead the country. There was not debate, no asset declaration, and then they started stealing in a big way, thinking that the Liberians are dumbfounded people. So again, this is not part of the Constitution review, but one of the people that watch my program, Florence Kinsley, is saying that this CDC administration came to power without any plans. Listen, CDC had 12 years. 12 years as the major opposition. And then when they came to power, they also had an opportunity to audit the previous administration. So if the CDC administration did not audit the previous administration, and they gave the previous administration high marks, that is a clear indication that they accepted everything that the previous administration did, and they are responsible. And there's no excuse why Liberians should see or endure this kind of hardship and this kind of suffering. But I want to tell you, the Liberians, look, you, the Liberians, are responsible. So, Florence Kinsley, I want to inform you that you, the Liberians in Liberia, especially the Liberians in Liberia, you go and you vote for your friend. You go and you vote because this person is from your tribe, tribalism. You go and vote because this person is your relative. And the sad part of all, you go and vote because somebody took your own money that was appropriated in the budget to use to develop your community so that you can have an opportunity to earn your own money. The person take your own money and they bring some rice to you. and they bring some little money to you, and you think that is enough for you to go and give your vote to them, you are the cause of what is going on in our country. Elections have consequences. When you elect bad leadership because of friendship, because you are associated or affiliated with their political parties, or because the person is from your same tribe, and not because the person is the right person. You have listened to all of the people, not because they come from your party, but because they're the right person. You listen to the people through debate. You should demand that elected officials go to debate. So if you don't do that and you just take rice and you take money, then the person have already paid you. When the person is not in power, they don't have to listen to you. When the election is coming around again, they will come and give you rice and few dollars because that's all you're good for. But all in between, you and your children will be suffering. Look at the hardship from this administration, and it is all because you decided under pressure of just empty talk. Empty talk. It's really disturbing. How can you continue to cause our country this kind of destruction? You don't do no research. You don't check any facts. You just decided that, oh yeah, look, when you go to vote, nobody is looking at you. Nobody can see who you voted for. Nobody can hold you accountable and say, oh, you did not vote for me. You just say, no, I voted for you. But vote with your heart. Vote for the right person, not because of popularity. Look what popularity has done to us. Do you see Liberia as one of the prosperous nations in Africa now, with all of the jobs for our people, roads, good school, quality health care? No. You see only a few individuals that just indoctrinate your mind, and then you go ahead and you vote for them with all due diligence. So we're going to take another break, and then we'll come back, and then I'm going to give a short perspective on how we can become the United States of Africa, and then we'll close the program for today, okay? Thank you very much. Stay tuned. This is LIB Live, and this is your host, J. Christian Wall Sr. of the LIB Constitution Review and Action Committee. We'll be right back. Thank you. welcome back to LIB Constitution Review and Action Committee. This is your host, J. Christian Watt Sr. Today we touch on a few issues here. And lastly, I want to remind you that the telephone number is on the screen. You can call in at any time. We're looking for a law firm in Liberia so that we can work with that law firm to present our petition and demand that the government of Liberia allow us or accord us our constitutional right to vote by absentee ballot. And if you are a law firm that's interested in spearheading this endeavor for us, please contact us on Lrtn Live. The telephone number is on the screen, and we will be working with you to make sure that our constitutional rights are protected under the law. Okay? Now, we see in America here that we have a problem with blacks in America. You know, over 400 years ago, when our ancestors were brought to the United States and other parts of the world as slaves, it was devastating to us. And our leaders at the time should have been more careful. They should have looked at things from a critical perspective. They did not. And this caused the death of over 600 million blacks to be murdered. 600 million? I mean, there was a plan to annihilate the entire race from the face of the earth. Okay? Just to ensure that the credits for most of civilization came from Africa. The credits for English that the Queen is claiming now to be from England came from Africa through hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics were already being written in Egypt and other parts of Africa, clearly in comprehensible form, that the drawings or letters meant something, sometimes entire sentences. Okay? The Europeans or British or other people, including America, the whole Western civilization, had no idea about how to write. But when they started reading and they started being educated about the hieroglyphics in Africa, then they confirmed that to their own standard of writing and are now attempting to claim the English language solely as that of the Queen. But I dispute that. Okay? Now, the blacks in the whole world have been treated just terribly, as less than human. And the reason is because we do not value ourselves. We do not appreciate our culture, and we do not set a strategic plan into place to work for the entire Africa. We are divided. We allow the Europeans to divide and conquer us. Okay? So the first thing that needs to be done, the African leaders in Africa should coordinate with the leaders, the African leaders in other parts of the world, including the United States, and first stabilize the currency. Have the Bank of Africa with one currency all over Africa, and have something similar to Wall Street in the United States and the trading center in England and other places around the world. We want to see the African Trading Market, ATM, African Trading Market, is going to be called the ATM. The ATM machine is going to stabilize the price and commodities of the resources of Africa. If anybody wanted to buy or purchase gold from anywhere in Africa, you would be allowed only to make that purchase in Ghana. This is just hypothetical in case we set it up that way. You would be allowed to only purchase gold in Ghana, but you will have sub-branches in each country. And all you have to do as a country is determine the quantity of gold, the quality of gold, and the price will be standardized and the money will be paid to Ghana, rectified, and the gold will be shipped from wherever place, whether it's in Liberia or Nigeria or Guinea or Ivory Coast or South Africa. That way, the price is standardized, and this should be done for all of the commodities in Africa, where people or international firms or business entities will be allowed to go on the ATM, the African Trading Market, and purchase stocks and shares of entities, but for a standardized price. Okay, like the fixed income in Africa, equities, okay, or different kinds of trading should be standardized in Africa. And now I know we have ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. So we need to get involved in establishing all of the states as just one region. So we have only North Africa, we have West Africa, South Africa, and East Africa. Okay? We should start looking at those avenues of uniting Africa as one country. Once we do that, then the next step is to bring North, South, East, and West Africa together as one nation, hopefully in our lifetime. I know that if I ever visit Africa again, hopefully sooner than I expect, my primary goal there would be to try to see how I can start, probably from Liberia, and bring Africans together to initiate the process of a United States of Africa. And if the African leaders do not want to get more involved, then I'm going to take my struggle to the institutions of higher learning in Africa so that we have a universal conference for the higher education to become involved in the process, and a new revolution, I should say, will commence to start the process of the United States of Africa. So once again, I want to thank you for this program, and I want to encourage you to do commercials on Lrtn Live. This is your host for LIB Constitution Review and Action Committee, J. Christian Watts Sr. One love, peace to Africa and the world. Thank you for watching.